In our last few minutes together, we wanted to share a couple of resources that may be helpful to you in identifying specific tools. So we know this is a huge question. So the Connecticut State Department of Education just recently revamped their website and they have a number of good resources there. They have an approved menu of K-3 universal screening reading assessments. It includes information on whether a Spanish version is available. You might well have seen this since you are in Connecticut, of course. And then we wanted to share with you the Center on Response to Intervention's online interactive chart, which provides information on validity and reliability. I'm going to share these links with you now in the chat as well to some overarching pages on the Connecticut State Department of Education website. So you can explore some more there as well. Okay. So here, just really quick, this is a portion of the Connecticut approved screening assessment. So it tells you what it is and briefly what it does and whether there's a Spanish version. It's a good place to start. But we wanted to really highlight this as well. I'm curious if anyone has used this or seen this. Could you maybe raise your hand? I'd be curious as we talk about this if anyone has used this tool. Oh, great. Glorianne, Hartford. Awesome. Okay, so some of you are already familiar with this, and others of you are not. So basically, this is a great tool that has a database of different types of assessments used for RTI, and it includes a number of different kinds of information. I wanted to highlight some of that information for you briefly. So you see here you have reliability, validity. Basically, the darker the circle, the better in those. And then what you have in this 7th column, disaggregated reliability, validity, and classification data for diverse populations. So this is something where you can pay a lot of attention to this when you're looking for assessments that may have been studied with English learners. So this gets back to that question that came up earlier about assessments that have been normed with English learners or at least studied with English learners. So in some cases they may not have been normed with English learners, but they've been studied with English learners, and there may be some research that shows that they are reliable and valid when used with English learners. And so if you see that straight line there, that means they haven't been studied with diverse populations, but in some cases you'll see then a circle that's either partially or fully filled in that indicates that they have been studied with diverse learners. And then when you click on a specific item, then you can find out more information, and basically then you can scroll down and find out more information about which populations it's been studied with. Has it been studied specifically with English learners? Because the disaggregation doesn't always necessarily mean English learners. And so you can scroll down within a page and find out more information about that, and it has links to things. It has a lot of technical information, but I think if you can see here with the dibbles next that it's a partially filled in circle. So it has been studied with English learners, but like we had mentioned briefly before, there's some information and research that indicates that it can be used with English learners, but there's sort of an asterisk next to that you need to take it with a grain of salt, include other kinds of data. Don't just use it sort of in a straightforward way that like you would with maybe other kids. So that's a tool that we think could be really useful in figuring out whether a certain assessment might be useful for you to use with your English learners.